Hello, everybody. Here is your teacher, English teacher, Ernesto Sangüesa, recording a video, special video for week number 1, for week 1, class number 1. Unfortunately, my promise had been to record the class that I had yesterday with a similar level, with the same level at 10:45. But we had technical problems, and in the end, we didn't record the class. We couldn't record the class. So sorry for that. It's a broken promise. But here now I am recording special video for this week, for the first week. Basically, what I will do in this, I suppose it's going to be a short video. Is going to be I'm going to talk about all the elements, all the principal elements of the course. I'm going to talk about the different units, the evaluations we have, the objectives of the class, etc. So that will take most of the time, and I will also give you some activities for this first week. The topic of this first week, well, is a presentation of the class and to practice a little bit with a simple topic, the topic of personal information. So those are the things that I will do in this video, right? Okay. So I'm going to show you some of the documents that I uploaded in Material Docente. On Material Docente, you can find different documents. You can find the programa of the course. The program of the course, it's long and a little boring. I'm not going to read it with you now. So you are going to read that program, which is in Spanish, as the first piece of homework of the class, okay? What we are going to do now is to read and analyze and speak about the syllabus. And you can see here the syllabus, okay? The syllabus is the same as the program, but it's more practical. It's more condensed, simplified, but it contains all the most important elements of the English course this semester, Inglés Preintermedio. By the way, if you finish and if you pass successfully this English semester, that is all. You will not have more English courses in the career. So this is the first, for many people, it's the first and the last English course. And for many people too, it's the second and the last, okay? So let's see here, we have the syllabus, la tabla de contenidos en español. We have the weeks, the topics or themes, and the assessment, and the date. So in Spanish, temas y evaluación y fechas, okay? So how many weeks do we have this semester? This semester is short, you know, September, October, November, December. It's going to fly. So we have 14 weeks in the case of English. Here you have all the dates. We have classes all jueves, Thursdays, from 12:30 to 2 o'clock. De las 12 a las 2, todos los jueves, que están aquí considerados en esta columna, porque hay algunos jueves que son feriados, otros que tienen receso, etc. Fiestas patrias, qué sé yo. So that is the timetable of the course. Thursdays from 12:30 to 2 o'clock in Sala Híbrida 2. About the modality of the course, you know, it's hybrid, híbrida. So in your case, you can decide if you want to go to the classes, presenciales, face-to-face classes, or if you attend the classes online. So you have the option to choose one or the other. Now, what is my suggestion? My suggestion, my recommendation, my honest recommendation is you try to come to face-to-face classes as much as you can. A good idea is to go to all those classes when you have bioestadística, when you have to go to clases presenciales of bioestadística. So you also go that same day to the English class. So you spend all the day at the university and you go to English and bioestadística classes. That is a good idea. And of course, if you want, you can go to all the classes presenciales. That's up to you. But you can choose. You can choose to go or not to go and do it online. But you know that you have to go to all the evaluations presenciales. So we have 3 evaluations here. Están en negritas, in bold print in the syllabus, that you have to go to the class, to the university. So we have 3. The final test on December 22nd, you have to go in the classroom. You have to be in the classroom for that. Then you have quiz number 2 of reading and listening on November 17th. You have to be in person in the classroom. And the third one is reading and listening quiz 1. Give me a second because my computer is not working very well, but it will react. I hope. So that's it. And you have to be in classes for quiz number 1 on October 6th. Okay, that's yes or yes. So you have a minimum of 3 classes, 3 tests that you have to go to university because these tests are face-to-face. You have to be in the classroom, right? Now, evaluations. We have these 3 evaluations and we have the blocks. And the blocks are also evaluated. You will have 4 block sessions. The first on September 22nd, the second on October 20th, the next, number 3, on November 24th, and the last one on December 15th, just before the end of the semester, just before the week before the final test. So there are 4 block sessions, and that completes all the evaluations. You have 2 reading quizzes, which are presenciales, reading and listening quizzes, sorry, 2 of them. You have 1 final test, which is presencial as well, and you have the blocks, 4 blocks, which are not presenciales. So you are going to do those online. Okay, let me show you here in the second part of the Excel. We have a summary of the evaluations. Evaluation 1, the blocks, the 4 blocks. In terms of percentage for the final mark, the 4 blocks will account for 30% of the final mark. And remember, you have them in these weeks, week 7, 3, 11, and 13. Then evaluation type 2, quizzes, reading and listening quizzes. You have 2 of them. In total, they account for 30% of the final mark. So each quiz accounts for 15% of the final mark. And they will take place on weeks 5 and 10. And the final test accounts for 40% of the final mark. And it will take place on week 14. Okay? So what can I tell you? What should I tell you about the evaluations? Let's start with blocks. The blocks are going to be used to work on your writing abilities, writing skills in English. We're going to use the blocks and the 4 sessions we have with blocks to work, develop, improve your writing abilities in English, okay? So that is basically the idea. I'm going to give you topics, instructions, examples, and then you're going to write your personal texts about those topics, following my example, following my instructions. A blog is like it's similar to a copybook. It's like online portfolio. It's like an online notebook, right? And you use the blog to write on your computers different topics. As I said before, we're going to have 4 blog sessions, and in each blog session you're going to write about something different. Okay, so that is basically blogs. Don't worry about all the technical aspects. It's very simple. I'm going to give you all there are just a few instructions you have to follow, and we will do that very soon. I think in week number 3 we're going to concentrate on the blogs. So I'm going to give you the instructions to have your blog. We're going to use Blogger, which is an application from Google. So everybody has Gmail, and to create a blog in Blogger, you just use the same passwords and username you have for your Gmail account. It's pretty simple. We will do it in week number 3, right? Then we have the second evaluation, which is listening and reading quizzes. We will have 2. And all my students who come from level 2 know about this, you know, because we did some quizzes and evaluated activities of this fashion last term. And for new people, it's very simple. In blogs, you have to write, and you have to develop writing. And in these quizzes, you have to practice, you have to use your hearing, your listening skills, and your reading skills. So you will read and you will listen to different texts, and then you have to answer some questions, okay? Usually multiple choice questions. You have to choose A, B, C, D after you listen and read to some texts. So those are 2 quizzes, and you will do them in weeks 5 and 10, and they account for 50%, 30%, sorry, of the final mark, right? All the listenings and readings are usually, maybe always, connected with your career. So they are about animals, about science, about stuff like that, right? So they are practical and useful, right? It's a good idea that you start practicing right now. So when you go to Netflix, when you go to YouTube, try to select videos in English, okay? So you can start developing and improving your listening skills. And when you go to internet, also try to choose English websites, so you can start reading and improving your reading as well. And the final test is a combination of everything. In the final test, you will have to read again some texts, you will have to listen to some audio texts, and you will have to write about something. So here you will be doing all the 3 things you have done before. Unfortunately, and because of time problems, we cannot evaluate this semester the oral part. We will not have an oral presentation because the sections are very, very big. I have more than 50 students in the sections. And that represents, if I want to do an oral presentation, that represents 4 sessions. Más o menos 12 alumnos por clase necesito para hacer presentaciones orales. Por lo tanto, therefore, we cannot have oral presentations. But we are going to practice oral production and speaking abilities. We're going to practice with speaking every single class, okay? I always give you time, I always give you activities for you to practice orally, because it's very important for me that you use your oral English and that you develop and improve your oral capacities. So as you can see, the course is trying to activate and is trying to use all the different abilities that you have to use when you are in contact with the language. The passive skills, which are listening and reading, and the active skills, which are writing and speaking. Okay, so let's go back here to the first part and of the syllabus, and we can check. Lo que nos falta es chequear los temas. So we have unit number 2, which is personal information. So in weeks 1 and 2, we're going to deal with that topic. Then we have block 1 session. This will be the only session, block session, sorry, that we will do in the class. All the rest you will do outside the class as complementary, in your complementary time of the class. That is very important, very, very important. The time that you need to dedicate to the English class. Por lo menos, at least, you have to spend 3 hours every week working with English. So 90 minutes are dedicated for each week's class with me or online. Okay, those are 90 minutes, 50% of the time. And the rest of the time, the other 50%, the other 90 minutes, you are going to spend individually, online, in your houses, wherever you want to be. And I'm going to give you, every week, I'm going to give you different activities for you to work individually in the English class, okay? Sometimes you are going to work on activities related to the topic. For example, this first week, I'm going to give you a number of activities for working on personal information, which is a topic of this week and next week. And sometimes you're going to work on the blocks. So you will have to write your blocks on this extra 90 minutes, etc., etc. So each week you will have different things to do in this 90 complementary minutes, but very important. At least, a lo menos, you have to spend 3 hours of your time for the English class, for practicing English. That is each week. And I say at least. You can practice more, you know. Now you don't have any excuse to practice more, because you have Netflix, you have all the social media, and you have many of the things that you like in English. So my recommendation again is that you use those platforms, YouTube, Netflix especially, in English, so you can practice your English, you can consolidate it, and at the same time you have fun, you know, because you're watching your favorite series, you're watching your favorite, I don't know, YouTubers, whatever. So it's very simple, very practical, and very exciting to use English these days. There are no excuses, right? So that's it in terms of a syllabus. Unit number 2, sorry, is opinions. A very interesting topic. To give opinions in English is always difficult. It's a challenge. Unit number 3 is tools of the trade, that we will work on weeks 8 and 9. In Spanish, you say las herramientas del oficio. So in this unit, you're going to learn about the tools that you need to be a veterinarian, about medical tools. It's very practical and interesting, I think. And then unit number 4 is on weeks 11 and 12, and it's about career options. You know, you have several options that you can follow on your future veterinarian career, and we're going to talk, you're going to learn, I'm going to learn more about these options, right? And that's it. And we have unit 5 here, only 1 week, and it's about important days and dates. Okay, so that's it. Now I'm going to show you the activities for this week. Unfortunately, as we didn't have class, we didn't practice in class number 1. So today, I'm just going to show you the activities you have to do, and you will have to practice, and you will have to do everything in your individual time, okay, for week number 1. So that is going to change us from next week, when in classes we will have time to practice and do more activities. So let me show you the activities you have to do this week. The topic is personal information, remember. So let me show you the first activity. This activity I used in classes yesterday, and I spent about 40 minutes doing it with my class yesterday. So it's about personal information and question words. So we have two topics in one: question words, and all these are personal information questions. So you have to do two things. You have to read all these questions about personal information, but as you can see, they are not complete. So you have to use one of the question words from the table to complete, okay? These are all the question words that we have in English. So these are the words that we use, that people use to make questions. So, how often? ¿Qué tan a menudo? How many? ¿Cuántos? ¿Cuántas? What? ¿Qué o cuál? Cuidado que está dos veces, se necesita dos veces acá. Which? ¿Cuál? Eso es cuando tienen opciones. What time? ¿Qué hora? What kind? ¿Qué tipo? ¿Qué clase? Where, ¿dónde? Why, ¿por qué? When, ¿cuándo? Who, ¿quién o quiénes? How much, ¿cuánto, cuánta? Cuidado acá, how many, ¿cuántos, cuántas? Para sustantivos contables. How much, ¿cuánto, cuánta? Para incontables. Por ejemplo, how many friends do you have? Contable. One friend, two friends. How many apples do you want? One apple, two apples. How much? Incontables. How much water do you want? How much coffee do you want? How much information, etc. And finally, well, what? Segunda vez, dos veces acá. So you complete the questions with the corresponding question word, and then you're going to answer all these questions with your personal information. Ideally, first you write the answers and then you practice orally, okay? So that is the first activity, right? Perfect. And the other thing is also about personal information. Lo anterior, el PDF que les mostré anteriormente, y esto también están en material docente. Todo se sube a material docente, ¿ya? Y esto es... la otra, este es un Word que subí, cuyo título creo que es, a ver, no me lo deja ver acá, pero creo que es simplemente Listening Activities Week 1 o algo por el estilo. So here we have in this Word document for Week 1, four listening activities. So it's very, very good for your development of your listening skills. And the 4 listenings are related, connected with the topic, personal information, right? So you have to read the instructions, you have the link, but I'm going to show you what you have to do with one of these activities, with activity number 2, okay? Listening practice, what are you like? Listen to the dialogue, check the vocabulary, and then answer the quick quiz provided. All these 4 activities are from the same website, so they have the same characteristics. So let's do one. Let me show you one. We're not going to do it. I'm going to show you one of these activities so you have complete clarity about it. So let me go to that website. Here. Yes. So this is the listening number 2. What are you like? So you have to read the instruction here. Matt reveals his personality by answering questions about character traits. Les voy a traducir un poquito por si acaso. ¿Cómo eres? Esa es la pregunta para personalidad, ¿no es cierto? Tenemos dos preguntas en inglés. Para apariencia física, cuando uno se describe, cuando uno da información personal, puede hacer dos preguntas. Una es, ¿cómo eres físicamente? Y esa es, what do you look like? ¿Cómo eres físicamente? I'm tall, short, fat, thin, attractive, ugly. And the other is for character or personality. What are you like? ¿Cómo eres? So, if you want to answer that, you have to speak about your character. Well, I'm a very extroverted guy. I like socializing, meeting people, or something like that. So Matt is going to talk about his personality. You have to listen to Matt here. This is a 3-minute listening. You have to listen to it as many times as you want. 1, 2, all the times that you need. And then you're going to go to the quiz. This is a quiz here. And we have a multiple choice quiz that you have to go through. And then you can check yourself. So everything is automatic. Everything is ready in this website for you to practice listening related to personal information in this occasion. So it's very good. And if you need extra help, you can check the script. En castellano, el guión, digamos, el texto del listening. Pero eso háganlo como último recurso, después de haber escuchado un par de veces sin script. Si aún tienen dudas, se van aquí y chequean el resto del script. Les recomiendo que al chequear el script, revisen todas las dudas de vocabulario que tengan, no se queden con dudas, chequeen todo el vocabulario usando algún diccionario en línea que les guste. Yo les recomiendo usar el diccionario Word Reference. Ustedes googlean eso, Word Reference, y les va a aparecer. Es el mejor, en mi humilde opinión. ¿Ya? Ustedes pueden ocupar el que les guste. El diccionario de Google, da lo mismo. ¿Ya? Eso. And all the rest of the listenings, the 4 listenings that we have in this first week are similar. So you're going to listen to people talking about something about personal information, and you're going to listen, you're going to check vocabulary, and you're going to respond to the quiz. Right? Okay, my friends, I was very fast, sorry for that, but I wanted to do this first class, and more than a class, this introduction to the course as quickly as possible, so I can give you more time for you to practice, which is the most important thing, right? Thank you very much, and I hope to see you next week in our next English class. Cheers.